expensive items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 6-1, visit staples.com/print for details.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever, powered by Friends and Family Credit Union. It's time to bring a friend into the family on News Talk 1480 WHBC. Live from the studios of News Talk 1480 WHBC, it's Kenny and JT.
How cool is it every Friday when we come to work, we know we're going to talk with greatness. We're going to talk with a Pro Football Hall of Famer as part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame residency program, and this is week number 6 for us, so 6 for 6, and the big man is in the building from New Orleans. How about that?
Look how small I look next to a Hall of Famer when he's an offensive lineman.
Yeah, having a great time. Yeah, I got here on time as well.
Willie
Hayden
Roaf
said I had to be here
building.
about 4 o'clock, so I had to be. I was up and ready to go.
Outstanding. Willie, thanks for coming in and joining us and for being a part of this residency program. And we've asked all the guys this, so I'm going to throw it your way as well. Why was it important to you to be part of this residency program?
Well, it's a great program, first of all, to come back and get involved in the community more, get to meet people. The hall is doing a good job of taking care of guys, bringing guys up. Guys can make some money as well. But coming back in the community, seeing people, going to the homeless shelter we went to the other day, that was special. Being around the kids at the hall, I didn't know they were going to have all these camps here. Being involved at this time of year so you get to be involved and the kids can see you and touch you and interact with you. And then going around, everywhere you go, you see somebody the next day and they're like, well, my daughter works there or my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Tigers. We run into a guy at the Hope Center. His daughter was working there. We went to the camp today and we went to the Girls on the Run thing yesterday and her mom was there. So the community feel here is outstanding, and that's what's special about Canton, Ohio. And a lot of people I've seen moved away for a little while, and they come back to the area, and the hall is getting more people that are local from the community that are working there as well. So that means they're more vested.
Right, and we love it, and a program like this goes such a long way. I want to take you back to 2012, and you get inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I do a little side work, and I have a DJ system, and I did a party for the Hoodats. And I got to tell you, man, from the time that those people from New Orleans came to Canton, Ohio, it was a party. I mean, how were you able to do it so long in New Orleans?
Oh, you mean when I got enshrined?
The Hoodats. I mean, they were everywhere.
Yeah. Stay away from Bourbon Street. You know? We live. So New Orleans is kind of where you fly into Kenner, Metairie, and it's like a bubble. Then you have New Orleans, and then you veer off to the West Bank, and you veer off east, and it's surrounded by water. So we practice and we stay in Kenner. So we're out there during the week, and we're practice facility. Everything's out there. You go in New Orleans to play the football games, but everything we do is outside the city.
Unreal.
So you don't want to live down there by the French Quarter in the middle of that all the time, you know. And then as soon as the season's over, you got Mardi Gras coming, and you got Jazz Fest, and you have the Essence Fest. So it's always something going on down there.
You know, I asked Tim Brown when he was here, what was it like to play in front of the Black Hole? I've got to ask you this, because I've been to that Superdome. It was a piece of crap, man. That stadium was horrible. Anybody that's ever been to that stadium, it's not a good stadium to watch a game in.
Yeah.
But that city, what was it like on a regular basis playing in New Orleans?
It was a lot of fun, especially I was a guy that was from Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
So it was like I was a local guy. I was the first, and actually not LSU. I was the first Louisiana player.
Was it like 4 hours north?
About 4.5, 5.
Okay,
but the LSU was close. But my point is,
Okay.
I'm the first Louisiana player they ever drafted in the first round. Not from LSU, from Louisiana Tech. And I'm Jim Finks, who's in the Hall of Fame's last first-round draft pick. He got sick right after that. And Jim Moore was the coach.
Okay.
And then Finks passed away. He smoked was a big cigarette smoker.
Okay.
But I was able to go down there, get off to a good start. And like I said, I had a lot of fun down there. Especially being a young player in New Orleans, you can have a lot of fun. But then you got to take your football serious and stay in shape and do those types of things. So it's you got to be able to handle.
Well, give you a head start being a Louisiana guy. I mean, I know you're from Arkansas.
Yeah.
When you go to college in Louisiana, was it a culture shock for you to be playing in New Orleans?
way different from Ruston. Where I went to college was in the middle of nowhere. That's up by Grambling State. That's up north Louisiana.
All right.
See, Ruston, Louisiana, you have University of Monroe up there, and all of the Raging Cajuns are down close in southern Louisiana. But it's the Arklatex. So you have Arkansas, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, all right there within a 2-hour time frame driving. So they can recruit a lot of guys that want to be close to home, or guys that tweeners to go Division One. You know, like for instance, Dak Prescott is from. I played with his cousin. He's from up there by Halton, which is on the way to Shreveport. He almost went to Louisiana Tech, so LSU had him on the waiting list. And then he said, "I'm not going there." He went to Mississippi State because he wanted to play against LSU, because that's where he wanted to go to school. But LSU didn't have him on their first line. He wasn't the first all-state type guy that was going to get the scholarship. So then that's why he went to Mississippi State. If it weren't for that, he probably would have gone to Louisiana Tech.
So he wanted to, since they didn't take him, he wanted to beat him,
He wanted to beat him, and he did beat him.
Yeah.
Man, they had a good program back then.
They did. Willie Roaf is our guest, Hall of Famer class of 2012. And Willie, what makes a Hall of Famer? Because we see different players at different positions coming from different programs, big, small, had great college careers, had okay college careers, but once they got to the NFL, they became a Hall of Famer. What makes a Hall of Famer?
A lot of work, a lot of favor to be able to stay healthy and play at that level for that long. And, we just have a drive and whatever you do, you have to have that type of drive and determination to be that good at your job, at your field. So for me personally, it was the competitive nature that I had from being able to play sports at such a young age, and then with the role models of my parents, just their drive in their field. My dad was a dentist, my mom was an attorney, pushing that narrative of education, where I kind of applied that to the football aspect once I became a real good player. And then just being able to go after the knee injury and finish off my career in Kansas City was great. But it's just, you just hear all of us have individual stories, but it's the same principle as we pushed hard. We just wouldn't stop, and we just wanted to be excellent at that field. And when you get to be at the top of the sport, the best of the best, when you're playing, you want to stay there for as long as you can, and then when you can't do it anymore, you can't do it anymore. But when you get to have that reputation as being one of the badasses in your sport, it's a great feeling too, to walk in the room and I'm in the Pro Bowl. I can walk in the room and I can be in there and I can walk in and say, I'm the best out of a lot of you at that time period.
Which is amazing.
11 Pro Bowls in 13 years, 7-time All-Pro. This guy's on 2 All-Decade teams. What did that mean to you? The 90s All-Decade team, the 2000s All-Decade team. You're on both of those. What did that mean to you?
Especially the 2000s, because that was after the knee surgery. That was mostly in Kansas City.
Right.
And I was second team All-Decade. So being able to make another one in Kansas City and having those 4 years up there was icing on the cherry, I'd say, for what I did in New Orleans. And I think back on it, if I hadn't gone to Kansas City, would I be in the Hall right now? Maybe possibly.
Who's the quarterback in Kansas City when you're there? Because you're left tackle.
Trent Green.
Okay,
it was us, Tony Guns, it was Priest Holmes, all those guys.
Okay.
Will Shields, and the real good offense. Man. Yeah, so we were good. We were good offensively, but I think I said if I hadn't got those years in Kansas City, would I be? You know what I mean? You have guys like Richmond Webb and a few guys that aren't in. And like I said, that decade team and what I did in New Orleans was great. But then being able to go in that last 4 years in Kansas City after the knee surgery, pushing into my mid-30s, playing at a high level.
Are you the first member of the Saints inducted?
It was Ricky right before me.
Okay.
And then Ricky, I was Ricky's rookie.
Okay.
So Ricky last year in New Orleans.
Okay.
They broke the Dome Patrol up when I got there, trading Pat Swilling. I was Ricky's rook. The next year, Ricky went to the 49ers and got a ring.
Okay.
In the 94 team.
Wow. Okay.
And back then, we were the NFC West, so we played the 49ers twice a year.
Okay.
Remember they had it split up back then. Before
it was different back in the day.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Memories from both stops in New Orleans and Kansas City. Is there a game? Is there a play from each one of your stops there that stands out in your career? Or maybe it's, in the locker room, or it's something else. Is there something that stands out above everything else?
Obviously, in New Orleans, finally winning that playoff game. That stands out. The 2000 season, which was the only playoff game I won in my career. So
Really?
that was a big one. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only one. And Kansas City, the year we started 9-0, went 13-3. And Peyton Manning came in there. And,
Yeah, well.
yeah. I played Freeney that day. And that's the first time I played Freeney. His second year.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was a Pro Bowler by then, but that was the first time I played Freeney.
And did you know then, by going up against him, that he was, going to be super special?
You knew he was going to be special even
Yeah.
back then. I don't know. You didn't know if he was going to be a Hall of Fame, but
Right.
he was already Pro Bowl, All-Pro type player by his second year.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
What about other rivals that you had to go up with? When you're a division athlete and you're playing a team twice a year, who comes to mind individually that you had to go up against that was like, man, that was a battle every time?
Chuck Smith, first one. Chuck for Atlanta.
Okay.
Chuck Smith. And then Rucker, Mike Rucker. Peppers was on the other side. People don't realize how good Mike Rucker was. Mike Rucker played in Nebraska with him and Winston were the bookends in Nebraska.
Okay.
And then I played Winston a lot, but Rucker and Chuck Smith were me and Chuck had some battles. Chuck had a big day against me in '97, and really made me become a pro after that year. I went to Duke and got in shape and stuff. And when I got to Kansas City, it wasn't an individual player. It was just by that time we were pretty good. So, like I said, I played Rucker. He came in 2004 and got one on me, but it wasn't a particular guy then. It was just teams. We didn't. The Broncos were the team that
The rivals,
It was
yeah.
still Mike
Yeah.
Shanahan. They were still good.
Right. But is left tackle as big of a deal back then as we want to make it out to be now? Got to have a great left tackle now if you want to throw the ball. Because we throw so much more now.
Yeah, but the difference was it might have been tougher then. Quarterbacks weren't that mobile. Quarterbacks are way more mobile now than they were then.
Okay.
The game has changed. They throw the ball more. They move the pocket around. The quarterbacks run more. So Trent Green was coming off. You forgot what happened to his knee.
Oh no,
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He wasn't. Now, he could throw it and he could time it and get rid of it early. But he wasn't. You got to
Mobile
protect him.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to protect him. Yeah.
Pocket guy.
All day pocket guy.
Right.
I had Jim Everett, Wade Wilson,
Yeah.
Jim Everett, and then we had Aaron Brooks in New Orleans before I left, and he could move around. But like I said, but when you have a good system and you have a good core group, and you have to be able to mix it up. Back then, if you want to have a good offense, you got to mix the run and the pass up. And I think the teams that do well, moving still now, they got to be able to run the football.
Right.
You got to have
agree.
some type of running attack. Or you.
Do you watch the game now? And if so, who stands out as a left tackle that you say, that kid's got it?
Obviously, Trent Williams is,
Is he the best
Good.
in the game today?
He's pretty good. Teron had a chance, but
Yeah.
he got hurt too much.
Right.
Tyra, the kid from the Cowboys, he had a real good run. Young guys, I don't know. I'm looking around. It's a different game, guys. I don't know why, because we practice a lot harder and longer, but we were more durable. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is, but it's a different. Guys are getting nicked up more now than they did when I was playing.
Yeah, no, and we're seeing that in all sports, though, not just football, right? Pitchers in baseball, basketball players now, you hear about load management, so they don't get, what I mean? And I don't know, maybe it's because the harder you worked your body back then, the more you practiced, the better in shape you were to take the pounding of the games. Maybe that was it.
Look at Joe Thomas. He didn't miss a snap for
How about that?
10,000.
Yeah.
What's for a guy that played that position? What does that really mean? Because we look at that and we go, so what? He played 10,000 snaps. They never won anything, but he's in the Hall of Fame and considered, as good of a left tackle as there was. What's that streak mean?
That's unbelievable. That means he did not leave the game. Every time the offense was on the field, he didn't leave the game. Now, I started my first 3.5 years, and I didn't miss a down because we weren't dressing with 7 guys till I got rolled up. But after that, I missed a couple games. When you go 10,000 and some snaps, that's basically 10 seasons without missing a play. that's very special. I mean, sometimes centers do that more, but at left tackle, that's hard. Just like you don't see left tackles don't play. Guards sometimes get 12, 13 Pro Bowls. Trent will probably break that record this year, but you don't see left tackles because of how hard the position is, get more than 10, 12, 13 years because it's a hard athlete. You got to be able to move. It's a tough position to play.
When you come back for the ceremony, right?
Yep.
And like you said, you've been in for a while, 2012. You're kind of a veteran
I'm
now.
a vet now, yeah.
So what do you gather with the left tackles, and do you guys commiserate, or do you have friends that you from other teams that you get together with? I'm always curious about positions, if those guys all get together that are in the hall at that position, or no, it's just friends.
You brag
throughout the
about
league.
them. Tell them who's the best.
Yeah, we mess. I was messing with. You mess with guys. The class going in because I played against some of the guys still, but when you see them, I'm kind of. I haven't seen Walter, and I wasn't here last year. That's on me, and I haven't seen Ogden in a while, so I like seeing them because we call the '90s the golden era. So I started that run. Then you had Ogden, you had Pace, you had Walt, you had Baselli. Baselli's in that group. Yeah. All us were in the '90s. So you have 4 or 5 left tackle Hall of Famers. They came from the '90s era, so that was Munoz and those guys in the '80s, but then in the '90s, that was where a lot of left tackles.
Right. So as an offensive lineman, you look at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Do you ever wonder, hey man, I'm not going to get in because we're not the sexy position, we're not a linebacker, we're not a receiver, we're not a quarterback? When did it become obvious to you that you had obviously the individual records, the Pro Bowls, the All-Pro selections, it's got to be in the back of your mind, but do they put enough offensive linemen in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah, yes. I mean, the problem is guys with 6, 7 Pro Bowls, it's going to be hard now. It's hard. I mean, Will Shields, Randall McDaniel, they had to wait 3. Will had to wait 3 years.
Yeah.
Will didn't miss a game for 14 games. We might have come out with a lead, but he didn't miss a start for 14 years. Okay. He started every game. Wow. That's a lot. Wow. That's a lot of football that he didn't, and playoff games. Will never missed the Pro Bowl. He never missed the regular season game. He never missed, All-Star game. He beat me for the Outland Trophy. So, I mean, he had to wait 3 years to get in the Hall. Derek Thomas had to wait to get in the Hall of Fame. Derek Thomas
he was a beast.
He was a bad.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. It's tough.
You didn't have to wait too long though. So what was it like? Did you get the knock or the phone call?
No. I got the phone call. And I had to get back then. I had to get to the airport and get to Indianapolis. So I had to get there on time. My dad was there with me. Now I will say this. Now they finally put Russ Grimm in. They put some of the guys in. Steve from Chicago. They had to wait a while. Some guys had to wait a while to get in, but once you get, I say this, for a tackle, if you got 8 or 9 Pro Bowls, you're probably
okay.
That's the number.
You're under consideration for sure if you're in that. You're
gonna be in a quicker ballot.
Okay.
If you got for guard 9 or 10.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Well, yeah, because we talk about left tackle right now is considered the most important position on the offensive line. Okay, we hear that they get paid more than everybody else. So,
right tackles too. You see, what the highest paid tackle now is the kid from Detroit. He got 28 a year.
Give it a week or two, and then somebody comes along. But I get you. So the tackles are I understand what you're saying. Inside, you got to do it a little bit longer to get recognized more, right? Than left tackle because you're out there on the outside blocking the blind side.
Center's the hardest one to get. You think about it, they don't put a lot of centers in. Right. You get a few. Dermani, you have Kelsey that's going to be coming up,
right?
But it's tough to get in the hall. It's only 380, 90 guys.
What number are you?
273.
See, there you go. See, the guys all know that, right?
I
You
know
bring
my
them over
numbers.
to us, and they always 270.
We talked to Bobby Bell yesterday. He's number 115.
Wow.
He's never
Can you
missed. He's
believe-
never missed an enshrinement.
How about that?
I can remember when you went in.
41 years.
It's 2012. You get inducted. The Saints play the Cardinals.
Yeah, we win the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
game.
and it was amazing because I can't believe that's been 12 years already.
12.
That's unbelievable.
And
You
look
look like
how
you
much-
could still suit them up too.
And look how much has changed at the Hall.
Oh yeah,
you know?
How about
yeah.
that?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you've been doing a lot. When did you get here this week?
I got here a day early. I got here Tuesday night.
Okay.
And I was supposed to get going Wednesday night, but Hayden had me going Wednesday. So
You-
I've been kind of mellow today because I got going early.
You know what goes through my mind? You come back to Canton and we were talking about where to go eat tonight and
Right.
what to go see and whatever else. But in my mind, when I start thinking about Willie Roaf and I think about New Orleans, food comes to my mind. I've been there for Final Fours. I've been there for 2 Super Bowls. And I've been down on Bourbon Street, and I know food is king down there.
Yeah.
What's the go-to food when Willie Roaf goes back to New Orleans?
Some good oysters. Some
Oysters?
The fried or the good or the oysters.
Tony Sachery? What is it?
With the they have the bacon on them, the cheese
Okay,
on them, and
now
all
we're
that.
talking.
Yeah. But obviously beignets.
Yeah.
Of course, beignets
Yeah.
in French Quarter. My wife loves beignets, the beignet places, but it's just you know what you got to do now. I got to drink the shakes in the morning. I have to stay away from the sugars, and my wife do my cardio.
Yeah.
So things have changed, so I can't do that all the time. So when I've been having a little fun the last few weeks. My birthday was in April, so I got to get back on it when I get home. Really, I thought we go to Baton Rouge. My daughter graduates.
Okay.
My youngest from LSU next week.
Nice.
So I'm proud
Nice.
of her, Canton. So after I get back from that, then I got 2 months to the Hall of Fame. So I'll be back.
Beautiful.
I'll be back trucking again.
My buddy came up when you got inducted. He's a huge Saints fan. Shout out to Jason Trosclair and his whole family. They came up, and I said, hey, man, next time you come to the Hall of Fame, forget about staying at a hotel. You stay with me.
Gotcha.
He came up, and he made an authentic shrimp boil.
Okay, I got you, yeah.
It was Tony Sachery. I mean, the spices, the Cajun spices, and I ate like I was going to the electric chair.
No, I'll tell you something. The crawfish, I couldn't. They're too little. It's too much.
Too much
much
work.
work.
Too much work.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to
So
work
I
for
was
it.
never a crawfish guy.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a story. I got we used to drink a little bit after games. So when I was in Kansas City, I got the gout. I didn't
Okay.
know what it was. You know, we're undefeated. We're getting ready to go play. It was after the Carolina Panther game. Warfare had bought some Cristal or something over there, and I didn't know what was going on the next week. My foot was swollen up. So we get that week. They figure out it's the gout. I can't practice. We got to play Green Bay at Green Bay.
Oh, man.
So I missed that week of practice, but I played in the game. Well, shellfish,
Yep.
I can't. So I take the but I can't have the shellfish and all the shrimp and the crab. I can't. But man,
So good.
But I haven't had thank God I haven't had a flare up in a long time. But that's the first time I had a gout flare up, and we went up to Green Bay, and I ended up playing in that game, and we came back for 17 down to beat them in the fourth quarter.
Nice.
So that was a nice.
Perfect.
Other than me not being
Yeah.
able to practice that week.
Yeah.
You know,
You didn't want to
that
practice
way.
that? You don't,
I
hey,
didn't
you
want to
Willie
practice
Roaf.
anyway.
You don't
Yeah.
need to practice.
You could have used
We
that
talking
excuse,
practice.
man.
We ain't talking practice.
Well, that's one week. You got to work on your hands and technique some.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, it's getting to meet the guys. It's always sad when guys pass.
Sure.
But what I take from walking around, I took watching Forrest Gregg walk around, the look on his face, how proud he was, being able to see Jim Brown too. I took a picture with Jim.
Nice.
To you know what I'm saying? So Bob St. Clair, Floyd Little, I mean, Fred Dean, the guy I would look for when I come in the room because he went to La Tech and I never got to meet him. And Fred's the quietest guy, so you walk around the room and Fred, what you doing? He said, what the hell you doing? And he's real laid back. So those memories of those guys, because every year is,
We're all getting older, right?
We're all getting, and I'm getting older.
Right.
Yeah.
Willie, did you go up against Reggie White when you played?
My rookie year,
How was it?
I held my own against him.
Did you?
And I played in a lot of Pro Bowls with Reggie. It was a lot of fun. So he gave me a lot of respect after the game, and he was good friends with Keith Jackson.
Okay.
So he used to come to Arkansas and stuff. So Reggie and I had a good history together. And for anybody who wants to watch, he has a movie called Reggie's Prayer, and I'm in his movie. He invited me to come be in his movie. I was like a high school football
Is that the
player.
documentary?
No, he has a movie called Reggie's
Because
Prayer.
I saw a documentary.
Yeah, he has a movie called Reggie's Prayer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know where it is.
So you add
Movie
that
star.
to your resume.
Yeah,
Movie star.
yeah.
Movie star up in here.
Reggie produced his own movie. I got a chance to be in his movie. Yeah.
I didn't even know it. You've seen it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was a while back. It was in the 90s. Yeah.
Remember, Reggie was close to being a Brown. They brought him
That's
here.
right.
Art
Oh,
Modell.
really?
Oh, you ready for this?
Yeah.
The 1 year, I forget the year, but Art Modell brings him in.
That was 90 with the free agency year when he traveled. That was the year I got drafted.
Okay.
He was the first big free agent. Reggie was the first
All right.
big one.
So that year, he comes to Cleveland. His wife comes with him on the trip. Art buys his wife a fur coat to try and,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he was this close to, and then he ends up, of course, going to Green Bay, and as they say, the rest is history.
Because you need that fur coat in Green Bay more than Cleveland.
Who would have imagined that Reggie White would have chose Green Bay over all those teams?
I know, right?
That was the best. He got the ring and was with Brett, but nobody would have thought he would have gone to Green Bay. And remember, he got that huge signing bonus at the time, like $9 million to sign. That was 93. That was my rookie year.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, see, all of the story intertwined, the 6 degrees of Willie Roaf or Reggie White, however you want to look at it. When you got inducted, your speech, what do you remember about that day and your speech that you gave that you look back on it and, you feel great about?
My father got to go on the stage, across the stage with me. He'd hurt his knee at Michigan State, never got a chance to play. All the teammates and people I played with that helped me along the way, that helped. It's always family, friends, staying focused, because it can be tough playing football. It can be tough at those training camps, all those training camps, and, getting up, going to practice 5, 6, 7 in the morning, and the weight room, and it's tough, man. So anybody that puts, like I said, anybody that puts in over 10 years in the NFL, that's a long time. And look, my hat's off to Tom Brady. I don't know why you compliment you put 25 or whatever years. You can't. That's enough, man. That's enough with football. But they're talking about J.J. Watt. Thinking about
you mentioned that to me the other day about coming back.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if his body was banged up. Maybe he's feeling better. He thinks he can come back. Well, you'll find out.
Man. 12. When you go on the offensive line for 12 years, and even though Tom Brady is a quarterback and he got hit quite a bit, I'd imagine, he's not getting hit every down the way you did. How are you able to go for 12 years?
I played about 12, 13. I played 13.
13 seasons?
But 12, I was. Well, I hurt my knee. I missed. I played about 12 full seasons.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's for a tackle, for a left tackle. Most guys, Pace, Walt, all those guys around 12 years. Munoz, 11, 12 years.
Wow, man.
For left tackle, that's.
For anybody, but I mean, a lineman.
But, I mean, Whitworth is the exception to the norm. He played about 17 till he was 40.
Wow. Right, on with the Rams.
Yeah, no, right tackle. I mean, Jackie Slater played 20 years.
Wow.
And Whitworth is the exception. He played till he was 40.
That's amazing.
And was still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any regrets from leaving when you did? When you got
They
out?
wanted me to come back one more year, and I just didn't feel like my body was going to hold up. That's why I walked. So it was tough for me to go.
And
they tried to make me, they wouldn't let me retire. They tried to make me come back. Carl Peterson was trying to get me to come back one more year.
Do you look back on that and say, yeah, I made the right decision?
Yeah. It was time.
Okay, yeah.
It was time.
When you come back, and again, going back to the left tackles in the Hall of Fame, is there a godfather of left tackles? Is there somebody that
Munoz.
Okay.
Yeah, Munoz is the,
So he's the GOAT of left tackles, the godfather?
Munoz is the creme de la creme of left tackles, yeah.
And we've met him. We've had the opportunity to meet him, and he does a lot for the Hall.
No, he
right
does
now,
a lot.
right?
Yeah. Munoz
he's
is
over
the guy.
there now. So because we hear the debates about all the different sports and the GOATs, And it's interesting in football, you can say the best of all time in football, but you can also go position by position. And that's why I was just curious, from a Hall of Fame left tackle. If that's...
The only difference, I will say this, when I came in the league, it was more we could run and pass block. So we they ran block, but when I came in the league, us guys, they ran left behind us a lot. So historically, it was left tackles were pass protection, and they run blockers were more on the right side.
Okay.
Well, then what made us good is we could do both. It's like one guy could score a rebound or whatever. We could run block and pass block. They could leave us one-on-one, and they could run the ball behind us. So that's what made me a good left tackle, is because we ran the ball, especially when we ran the ball left, and I was left one-on-one in protection.
I've got to believe that's hard for the defense then, though, too, right? Because the defense they don't know if they're running or throwing, depending on the direction of the play, right?
Yeah, but when you can run and pass block, and you can free guys up, and you don't need to slide the line to you, and you can protect one-on-one. It's just like a cover corner. If I can leave him one-on-one against a real good pass rusher, then I can help somewhere else. So it really changed the offensive philosophy when you have a exceptional left tackle.
See, in our mind, we still think protect the blind side, left tackle, passing quarterback. And I was looking at some of the quarterbacks that you blocked for, and I just wrote down a few of them. Jim Everett, Heath Schuler, Kerry Collins, Billy Joe Tolliver. But how about some of the running backs?
And Billy Joe Hobart.
Billy Joe Hobart,
both Billy Joe.
Billy Bears. All of them, yeah.
Yeah, we had both Billy Joes.
Oh, my gosh. So what about the running backs?
Ricky Williams.
Oh, man.
Priest Holmes. Larry Johnson. Yeah, we had 20 rushing touchdowns when I got to Kansas City. Priest got hurt. We broke the record the next year with 27. We had over 30 rushing touchdowns in 2004.
Yes.
And in 2005, Priest got hurt, and Larry had 20 rushing touchdowns.
Remember, Priest Holmes would win you your fantasy league every time.
So if you NFL record books, back-to-back seasons, we're 1, 4, and 5 most rushing touchdowns in NFL history.
Really?
Wow.
I think it was Green Bay and somebody. Like I said, that's going to be hard to be broken because not the 2,000-yard rusher, but we have the most rushing touchdowns. Over that 4-year span, we have more than it. It's probably not.
Well, nobody wants to run the ball anymore.
They don't run the ball anymore.
Hell, one running back taken in the first 2 rounds of the draft. I mean, they just devalue the position, or they think, you know what, we'll just do it by committee and get them later.
Running back by committee, yeah.
That's the way it is. You mentioned Ricky Williams, because I remember that year, 99. The Browns, were they going to take Ricky? Was it going to be Achilles Smith? Was it going to be Tim Couch? Was it going to be Donovan McNabb? All those guys, right? And the Browns took Couch, and Mike traded his entire draft, right, to get Ricky Williams.
And he didn't even have to trade it. We needed a lot of players,
right?
And then Edwin James ended up being the one who made it to the Hall of Fame.
Right. What was it like playing for him?
Dick, it was fun. It was different. You know? He was coming out of retirement. I didn't know the story. Coaches were coming back because at that point it was the last 5 years your salary. So a lot of those old coaches were coming back because they had changed the retirement rules.
Right.
Where you get more retirement based off your top 5 your top 5 seasons coaching salary. So that's why some of the guys wanted to come out of retirement. Well, now I know. So
for that kind of money, right? I mean,
yeah.
You come back even if you don't win. At least you get one more paycheck.
I will say this: when Coach Dicker came, I had the honor to play for Dick Stanfield, and Dick Stanfield finally made it in the Hall of Fame. He was my line coach for a year or two in New Orleans. So if he hadn't come, I wouldn't have met Coach Dick Stanfield, who finally got in the Hall. Who played for the Lions in the 50s? Who had been waiting a long time. I think he was deceased. His son walked him across the stage, but me and his son so his son gets to come in the room as well. So it's always good to see him. He doesn't miss a lot either during the enshrinements.
All right, you mentioned, and I know we got to let you go here, but talk all day to a Hall of Famer like Willie Roaf. You mentioned the offensive line coach. How important is an offensive line coach to a player, to the unit? Because Bill Callahan was just here for the Browns for how many years? He's going to join his son now, and he leaves, so they're trying, they think they filled that hole. But how important is it to have a position coach that, like you said, is a Hall of Famer or that you respect like that?
It's very important, especially when you're young. You need one that's going to help you. Some of them are better at fundamentals, at helping you getting started, and then you have some that are more with the X's and O's and making sure you're mentally prepared and whatever. So, some guys are better at teaching. And so you need if you're not, you need an assistant that's better at teaching. You really have to work on your fundamentals, and it's really important now because they don't stay in camp and they don't put on the pads anymore.
Right.
So you really have to be fundamentally sound. That's why you need a good coach to be able to teach the fundamentals and stay on the guys during the season. So that's why Mike Solari, who's with the Cowboys now, was with me in Kansas City. I had John Matsko, coached me in New Orleans, really my first few years when I really started blossoming. Then he went to the Rams and coached the line with Pace and all those guys.
Okay, so it does matter.
It's very important.
Yeah, their fingerprints
with
are all over it.
With a young line, you need a guy that's going to be able to focus on fundamentals, help those guys learn how to play, help them learn how to deal with adversity. See, I'll tell you a quick story. When I got to Kansas City, John Tate was Mormon, first of all. Peterson had kind of cursed him a little bit, or they were, you don't really, how Mormons are. Yep. So he had short arms. So, they brought me and put me in left. He was a little pissed off. They moved him right. And he was, he would get, before I got there, when I first got there, he would get beaten. He would, and he'd be stopping and stuff. I said, John, it's one play, John. Don't worry about it, Just, and the coach would come over and just leave him alone. Let him learn, And then I kind of showed him. I said, look, you just got to play football. Just settle down. Because I've been in the league 9 years at that point. So then he got off to a great start when I played left. And he was the one who went to the Bears and got the big contract because all of us were locked up and getting older. So it was kind of like, Will and those guys had their routine. They, in practice and stuff. And I would be like, man, I'm dinged up. Do you want it out here? You want it on Sunday? So they call me like the Ozzy Osbourne guy. I'm like, I'll give it to you. But, as long as my weight's at a good weight and I'm doing my technique, I'm going to get out here and play. And it was good playing with those guys. But, you just have to you have to let them grow up. You have to let them learn how to play, and that's basically, what we can show. But other than your coach, you got to know how to temper some guys. Some guys you can't just can't rough mouth them. You know what I mean? You got, especially with this league now.
Different breed.
It's hard, man. With these youngsters.
It is. It's totally different. Well, when you played, you dominated, and you're one of the select few in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What's that number again?
273.
273. There he is, Willie Roaf. Saints, Chiefs, Hall of Famer. Those are his three teams, and this one, you're a Hall of Fame team member for life.
This is my permanent team. Yeah,
this is it, right?
This is our home away from home.
Yeah. Well, we're happy that you came up for the residency program. Great to have you in studio. Open invite anytime you're in town. Come on in, or we'll head over to Taggart's and get some more ice cream or whatever it is. All right.
All right. Yeah, we'll go over there and we'll take some more people. My wife is mad. I went over there yesterday. She wanted some Taggart's, so. Well, I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day and happy rest of this going into the summer and everybody blessings to you and stay out of trouble.
Coming back in August, we'll see you in August.
Back in August.
All right, sounds great. Willie, thanks so much. Much appreciated. Thanks for coming in. We'll get a break in right now. We'll come back with more of the Kenny and JT show right after this.
The Roadman and JT on 1480 WHBC.
Your severe weather station. News Talk 1480 WHBC.
It's your